ready to stand.
All right, Tinubu is not running a Yoruba government, Afenifere declares for some weeks now. Northerners have been coming out to speak against President Tinubu's lopsidedness in this.
You see, all these things boils down that all is done well with the fabric called Nigeria. When because of some kind of affinity to a particular region, people will continue to, even when you see something that is bad, you say it is good because it's your brother. I don't subscribe to that kind of nation. If you look if you look critically well, you see that Afenifere too has some division. They say that the late Adebanjo used to be part of them, and there was power tussle where Adebanjo will say this, other people that have been compromised will say another thing. Then who is the real authentic Afenifere? To me, I will call them Afenifere, because when you love your stomach so much than to reason clinically, then you begin to say rubbish that is not good for the development of this nation. I want to believe that all this is self-serving. It's not something that one should take. We shouldn't take them serious, because the mass people of Nigeria are greater in number than just a minute few, and that is my take on that.
All right, let's quickly move to what Atiku said about Seyi Tinubu, and we still have some of our viewers reacting to this morning, like the comments made by Benga George here. Anything they said Seyi did, he did. Seyi is doing exactly what his father is doing. He set confusion into any group or political party, then bring someone in to destabilize them.
Yes, I do not differ with this last contributor, because because for crying out loud, Seyi is not holding any post. Why has it become so much that his news is becoming so regular in the public space? I want to believe that if the mannerism with which is carrying about the campaign for his father is becoming so barbaric. I want to believe that Seyi is not going to be the first, and is not going to be the last first family that we will have in Nigeria. We've had some people too that occupy that office. How much of activity do we know of those first family that were there before President Bola Tinubu? I think the president should rein in his son to follow the ethos of rule of law and decorum in a civilized society as Nigeria. But one thing I want to say is that it all goes to tell us that the brand which he intends to give to Nigeria is already being seen by the minutes. With this rude and barbaric nature of kidnapping of the Nans president by Seyi Tinubu, it goes to show that the people that are going to take the affairs of this country, they are not there for our own collective good. They are there for themselves. And I think it's a self-serving ideology on the part of Seyi Tinubu and the Tinubu family as a whole.
Now, let's quickly go back again to that lopsidedness that the Northerners are speaking against. We have it in the comment section that Fulani ran a lopsided government for 8 years and everyone didn't fall. And truly, this is by Stella Oloni. But truly, it was so obvious in the administration of the former president Muhammadu Buhari, the rate at which he appointed people in his cabinet, especially from the northern area, and not just the northern area, from the Fulani extraction. So what do you have to say concerning what this is?
First of all, I want us to understand one thing. On whose platform did President Muhammadu Buhari run for election? APC.
Yeah.
What do we currently have now? APC. Then, if President Bola Tinubu said that he's going to continue from where his president stopped, then is he doing anything different from what Buhari is being alleged of? Certainly not. I want to believe that they are birds of the same feather. As of the now, President former President Muhammadu Buhari has not declared that he's no more in APC. Whatever he has done, which President Bola Tinubu is trying to accentuate through his policies and lopsidedness, I think they still run on the same train. I want to believe that they did not differ. If we are talking about lopsidedness, this is kind, I say it's all self-seeking. It's not. It does not connote any nationalism on my own take. That's my take.
All right, who do we expect to run the affairs of the government if Tinubu does not run for 2027 and Atiku? This is Baba Ahmed saying that Tinubu shouldn't go and Atiku shouldn't go.
You see, when we are talking about vibrancy, even prior to the now, I've had President Bola Tinubu spoke on international media or forum, and I've also had Obi and other presidential candidates. Then, among all the lots, if we are to be sensible enough and be very very firm in our view, in our opinion, you see that Atiku is more vibrant than even Tinubu and the others, because I listen to them trying to dish out what they will have, the kind of government they will bring to bear on our political Nigeria. I think I will say if I were to rate, Atiku stand first among equals in that during that campaign. But that does not form my opinion. My opinion is this: if is Atiku the only one that can do it, certainly not. But what I'm saying is that we have some other vibrant young professionals in this country that can also hold the race of governance, which I believe can do well. But it's because the political space is suffused with a lot of amenities. Because if the monetization of our political space is highly monetized, and how do you expect a thoroughbred professional to come to the fore to veer in the midst of all these so-called money bags? That person will be muzzled to a corner, and that is not good for an egalitarian society that we wish for or we hope for. But I want to believe that everything right from the basics needs to be rejigged so that we can have a semblance of a democratic ethos and settings.
Quickly to the state of insecurity in Nigeria. You can see what's on paper this morning, that state of emergency looms in Benue and Zamfara. I said it earlier on when we started the program that it is not only in Benue and Zamfara. We need state of emergency. It should be declared in places like Plateau, Borno, and some other states.
Mike, Mike, I do not differ with you on this subject, because it's not only Zamfara and Plateau State that is experiencing this kind of terrorism act. We have many states, even including some states in the southwest. Ondo is not even excluded here. Ekiti also have a fair share of terrorism attack. Even Ogun State here. But what we are saying is that the orgy of violence is becoming worrisome and very, very mind-numbing. Because when you see what is happening now, if President Bola Tinubu should declare a state of emergency in almost all the states, because people fear now going from one point to the other because of insecurity challenges. And what are the elementary things, or security thing that is being put to the fore in order to curtail or rather stem it down, so that you and I can have a free society where we can move about freely. It's already enshrined in our constitution that freedom of movement, freedom of speech, freedom of... Do we have all these things in this country? And we say we are practicing democracy. What kind of brand of democracy are we practicing that is different from what obtains in the US and other civilized climes? Are we in a jungle society? Why are we not doing it? And most of our ruling elites, they do travel to all those countries. They see the workings, how democracy is being performed or exercised in those countries. Why can't they replicate the same here? That is why we are having problem on a daily basis. Security is now an albatross. It has become a kind of an octopus that cannot be contained. That is why we have all these challenges day in, day out. And for how long are we going to continue to cry and cry? It's seen that the hesitant and flooding approach of this present government is becoming something else. Nigeria now are now resolving to self-help, because the government that we put in the saddle of power is not doing the needful concerning security. The entire gamut of our security architecture need to be rejigged. We have to put all hands must be on deck, from the local chiefs to the councillor or to the higher echelon of the society need to come together. There should be a kind of a security workshop whereby every person that needed to be invited should be invited. It's like it's not the present government is not being overwhelmed with all these calamities and all this gamut of security and terrorism acts in the country. And I know most of these are elite group. They do go with long cover. They have other private security apart from the one that the state, is giving them. That is why you see that they are not taught. They are not perturbed. And we are the downtrodden. We are the mass of people. We move from one point to the other. That is why we keep on having problems on a daily basis. And we cannot continue like this. If we must move forward, everybody must be on deck. I want a situation. I am a supporter of one nation, a very good nationalist platform where you and I, somebody from Kanuri, can travel to Lagos without being hindered, without being disturbed, without being hamed. I can travel to Owerri without being hindered, without being disturbed, without being made. But it's a security state in this country is now becoming a nightmare. And unless urgent action is being taken before we can continue to say we have a semblance of democracy.
All right, to the comment section, Udeze Chima, Mr. Michael, the whole country needs state of emergency as the country comatose.
Yes.
Yeah. Mr. Vincent, fire down. You are always on point, bro. Udeze Chima. Well done, Mr. Vincent.
Thank you, sir.
Education is truly not a scam. School went through school went through you and you went through school.
Thank you very
Michael,
much.
tell him that, okay?
Thank you.
I've said that to him. Mr. Vincent is another senator or Baigon of Edo State, a grammarian.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you so much for that. Our viewers, I enjoy watching this second speaker. He's a real intelligent grammarian. All right, David Okafor, I am to the Okafor saying that a criminal politician will eventually deliver a criminal son. I'm not surprised because goats do not deliver goats. Dogs. Goats do not give birth to dogs. That's what David Okafor is saying. Fulani thought that they own Nigeria. Stella is saying this. Good morning, everyone here, Franklin. Thank you so much for your comments. All the viewers there. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Let's quickly have another person.
City Stand.